Alrighty. Another week around the trash fire. Your host, Matthias. All on with the boy.
John.
Well, are we ready for today's news?
Yeah, lots of random Model Monday, which I like what they revealed, at least for Age of Sigmar,
For Age of Sigmar? You're not too,
for Warcry.
stoked for the 40k?
Nah, I have some comments on that.
Huh. Okay then. Well, before we get there, we got some video game news to talk about.
Yes.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure you've heard of it. We've got shooters Blood and Teef. Know anything about this game?
Yeah, it's that side-scroller orc game. And
Have you played it?
I have not played it.
Well, I was convinced to buy it, so I did play a little bit of it. And it's okay. You know, it's not a must buy. But I would say definitely wait for a little bit of a discount on it. But it's a good 2 hours to kill. It's nicely animated. It's got a little nice story. At least from what I played it. Again, I think I've only played 30 minutes of this game, but it's fun enough. But definitely wait for a little bit of a price drop. That would be my glowing review of Shoota's Blood and Teeth.
Yeah, it's very rare to see any super top quality 40k games these days. I mean, Space Marine 2 is the next triple A offering that we're waiting for. Dark Tide is hopefully not going to get delayed anymore, but even if it does, that's fine. But you know, yeah, that's another one it's not necessarily triple A, but it is waited. People are waiting for it because it's 40k Vermintide. Vermintide has had a very good reception among the Warhammer community and the video game community. So yeah, it's pretty much just Dark Tide and Space Marine 2. So other than that, all the games are just kind of okay.
Yeah, well, I'm still waiting for Dawn of War 3 to come out.
Yes, the real Dawn of War 3.
That'd be nice if Relic could just, or THQ, whoever's making, get on that project. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the video game section. Moving on to our favorite thing, Sunday preview. And look who's finally coming to be available. Leagues of Votann.
Yes, the entire range looks like it's coming out.
It is. We're getting the Combat Patrol. I'm just gonna briefly go over all this stuff because we've given our thoughts on it. We got the Combat Patrol coming out. Uthar, the Destined. It's the closest I've seen this model. The Grimnir. The little Gandalf ripoff with his 2 shooter drones.
The Age of Sigmar model.
Yes. Here Champion, the
Lieutenant. Literally,
yep.
Votann Lieutenant.
Yep. The Hearthguard, the Terminators. Oh god. Iron Master, I'm not gonna pronounce the first word. I'm trying to think what equivalent he would be.
Tech Marine-ish.
He's Tech Marine, but he's got a retinue. It's more of the Adeptus Mechanicus people.
Oh, right.
I can't think of the name. But we got that. The Thunderkin, the Devastators, pretty much. The Warriors.
Man, I didn't realize how much the Hearthkin Warriors look like a kill team already. If you look at the unit, there's a sniper guy, there's a special weapon guy, there's a comms guy, another comms guy, some chick with a pistol and a knife, and the unit leader.
Yeah,
Definitely
well,
could see them making this a kill team with an upgrade pack.
don't tempt GW because you know it's already coming.
Yes.
It's already on the way. Let's see what else we got. We got the bikers, the berserkers, and the heavy weapon team. I don't remember what they're called. Uh, Sagittar, the little ATV,
Hmm.
and the land fortress, which I think was I saw a clickbait title. I think this is like what $110.
Yes. About the price of a repulsor executioner, because it's that size.
Mm-hmm. And that's pretty much like the only price I know. But
Yeah.
there we go. Uh, I am surprised they're not piecemealing the Photon, but it makes me happy that they're not, because then at least everything's available and I don't have to wait, another week for a unit that I would want to come out.
Right. Right.
Not that I'm gonna get Photon, but for those interested, you can have it all at once. Moving on, we got the dice, and the dice. I actually like the dice.
Yeah, they're unique. The kind of clear design,
Mm-hmm.
simple faction symbol. Yeah, they're neat. If there was one in the color of a faction I like, maybe a Night Lord's one with the blue clear dice, I could see myself getting it.
Nice dice for a new army, so gotta get it right. We got the cards, standard stuff. Horus Heresy. Got the Predator support tank.
Oh, why are they calling it support tank? It's literally the Predator with different weapon options. It's funny because all these options I think kind of suck, but whatever. I have a Predator. I probably will get another one, but I'll probably get the other kit, not this kit.
Well, they gotta give it the special names so they can
So it's,
put it
yeah,
on
at
the
least it's
box.
separate. I do like that they separate it though, and you're not stuck with a more expensive kit with a billion options. I mean, in terms of having options to swap or magnetize, tanks are among the easier models you could work with if you want that, but still, just not having to pay an extra $20 for all the options is a good marketing choice, I think, in terms of the box. So good on GW, but not interested in this specific loadout or the loadouts that come in this one.
Fair enough. Moving on from that, we got the badass Dark
Oh,
Angels character.
poor Swain. And I like it because he is in the novels. He is not a random character. He's in one of my favorite Dark Angel, actually my favorite Dark Angel short story or novella, Savage Weapons, and he is in Terra, leading the only Dark Angels to defend the Throne World. So if you play Dark Angels in 30k, he's kind of a must buy just because of how legendary he is, and it's a really cool model too. It kind of epitomizes the 30k Dark Angel vibe, and he has a helmet.
I'd get him, but Forge World. So
Yes, Forge World.
would definitely have to do. Definitely would have to get him painted up third party because I'm not touching stuff. It's I spend so much money on I'm not saying like this model, but Forge World, you spend so much money on the model. You might want to make it look nice. So I usually third party that stuff
Right.
because I compare myself to being adequate. But when it comes to this stuff, I want it to be good.
Right.
But moving on from that, the Death Guard Praetors. Whatever. Cool.
You're cool if you like Death Guard. These are up there in terms of the Praetors.
And then we got their shoulder pads and their helmets. I swear to God, these things came out a long time ago. I feel like.
They were previewed a long, long time ago, but they are just coming out now.
And that, obviously, they got the coolest helmet option. Something we talked about last week, Blood Angels. They're coming out this week.
Yeah. I might pick up a set just to use for sergeants and all that, because it is nice to distinguish your sergeants in Heresy when they don't have ultra weapon options. So I can see myself picking one kit up for that purpose.
Just 11 heads, right?
Yep.
It's a shame. Should have more, but whatever. It's fine, I guess. Shoulder pads, blah blah blah.
No, this one I might pick up because I have two unpainted squads that I'm building. One is already, they have the body built, but not the gun and the shoulder. So maybe I'll just wait and add these because why not? But I did buy. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
It's still in the queue. Could happen. Moving on, a Black Library Omnibus for Eisenhorn. I recommend. Let me see. What does it have?
Xenos,
Dinos, Malus,
Malleus, Hereticus.
and Magos. Yeah, I'd recommend. Those are good.
Okay.
Those are all good. My opinion, the best trilogy of books, and think the Magos, if I recall, is a bunch of short stories.
Yeah.
So
I mean, a lot of people have said if you want to read about the not I want to say the Inquisitor, but the Inquisition, this is the series to go to. Kind of like how if you want to read about Space Marines, there's some books you should read. Chaos Space Marines, I think the best trilogy would be the Night Lords trilogy.
yeah.
Imperial Guard, just read first and only, or the Tanith ones. Those are good.
Yep. Well, like I said, I really recommend these books. Go for it. Moving on. The Successors, Space Marine Anthology. I know nothing about. Anything on your end on these?
There's an ADB store. I wonder what it is. Let's see. Quick Google on this. Black Library. The Successors has Emperor Spears. Oh, okay. Not the novel, but it has a short story. That's kind of cool.
But there you go.
Yeah, yeah. It's a lot of Primaris and yeah, not first founding legions. Stuff like the Carcharodons, the Crimson Fist. So if you like, I mean, I actually personally like the successor chapters in 40K because I get my first founding fix in Horus Heresy.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I play Black Templars, because they're a second founding chapter. So if you're into that stuff, probably a good read.
Well, we'll see. Put it on the back burner. Moving on from that, Greater Good. Caiaphas Kane worked with Tau. Coming to audiobook, which means I'm gonna have to pick that up. Because I do like the Caiaphas Kane series. Highly recommend it. Obviously, not in I wouldn't binge it. Because it's got that certain charm to it. And if you just do back to back books, it's definitely loses it. But Sandy Mitchell, very good on the Caiaphas Kane. Moving on to the next one, we got the collection of Horus Heresy books coming in French, along with Dark Imperium coming in French. More Dark Imperium French, more Dark Imperium French. And the Black Library Horror subscription. When we went over this last time, I thought they were going to dedicate like each day a page like a small description of these, and they didn't do that. At least not on the Warhammer community site.
Oh, sorry, say that again.
I said, when we first talked about this, and they were gonna, reveal everything. I'm surprised they didn't put this on the Warhammer community page.
Oh, I see. It's kind of like in Black Library. Yeah.
Yep. But I see my faction on there, Dark Eldar, under Pain Engine. So I'm kind of interested in it. I don't know who's writing it though.
Yeah, I mean, Warhammer Horror, I've only read Dark Harvest. Really good. Best Warhammer. Well, it's the only Warhammer Horror novel I've read, so it's obviously the best one. But it did nail the atmosphere. I tried to read the other one, Briar or something, and it's not as horror-y. It's more just dark gothic fantasy where there's a monster hunt, there's gothic mansion. So it's cool in that if you like gothic fantasy, which I like gothic fantasy, it's great, but it doesn't feel horror like in the way that Dark Harvest is horror. And it's cool because the bad guys are Sylvaneth, which isn't a faction you would think would be horrifying, but my gosh, they horrifying. So I
A bunch of
recommend that.
tree phase. Yeah, I would think they'd horrifying.
Yeah. So if you ever wanna, if you know Matt, if you or if any of our listeners wanna get into Warhammer horror, definitely recommend Dark Harvest. It's not 40K, but it is excellent use of the Warhammer IP, Age of Sigmar IP in a horror setting.
Well, I think I'm gonna pick up Pain Engine. I don't know anything about this Chris Thurston, who's writing the book, but
Uh-huh.
Dark Eldar, learning about Talos and Kronos, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's usually what paint engines are. I'm interested to see what gruesome descriptions they're gonna give for the Dark Eldar. The rest, I don't care too much about. But if I like paint engine, I might pick up another one. We'll see. See the horror aspect. Moving on from that, Warhammer Plus. Nothing too interesting. Some White Dwarfs. Battle report of the new Gnarlwood teams. And learning how to paint. And that is that for the Warhammer preview. So, all in all, some pretty packed stuff. Votan
Yeah,
officially
Votan's coming
coming
out.
out.
So if you want to play Votan, it's here. Votan is here. All at once too. None of this piecemeal crap. It's just like, here's all these kits. Have at it.
Yep, we getting that. But we got some other news. Something I was expecting to get on, well, not Warhammer Day, but the beginning of the year stream. We got a little bit of a roadmap for Underworlds. Now, I know we don't really play Underworlds. We don't really talk about Underworlds, we just like the models. But they gave us a little preview for some upcoming stuff. So, looking at this roadmap, looks like the next warband will be Night Goblins. Is that
Yes,
safe
that's
to
for
assume?
that's for sure. Night Goblins.
Bad Moon Goblins. I don't know what the AOS calls them. But it looks like we're getting them in December. And in February, we're getting. I'm not familiar with that symbol. I would assume demons?
It looks chaosy, yeah. So maybe demons. And then a new season already. Quick, really quick.
Yep, and a new season coming out.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, they're really going ham on this rivals thing, which I think because I've been watching videos and reading about it more. And to remind our listeners, rivals is the pre-built deck system. I guess it's called Commander and Magic.
mhm.
And yeah, they are. really pushing this, which I think is a good way to combat bloat because it's instead of again building a deck with hundreds of cards, you just have a deck, and this is the deck you use. And it is inserting some vigor back into the game. I think if there was a local Warhammer shop nearby, I would be getting into this, but right now I'm just too focused on other games to start to play this.
Again.
So, but I mean, it's if you want a card game with miniatures, Underworlds is great, and this is just making it easier to get into it. So
Yeah, it's nice. Though, you think it's just gonna be a team, or you think there's gonna be a two-player box set?
yeah, it sounds like it's just going to be a team. It would be great if they had two, what's it called, war bands, but it seems that they're really slowing the releases down for this game, which is fine. I mean,
Well, I mean,
cool models, but
they did release. I think hasn't every uh Underworld team been two-player so far? Ever since I want to say Nether Maze, or have they been releasing single
no, they've
activity?
been releasing some single packs.
Yeah, feels like it's been twos.
Yeah, no, they have been releasing the standard ones.
Hmm. Oh, there we go. Underworld still going strong, and the future is still looking bright. Again, me personally, I just like the models. John likes the models too, but
Yeah,
he has more experience in the game than I do.
yeah. I mean, this is a game. If I knew someone who wanted to play it, I would play it. But I just don't know anyone who wants to play it, and I don't feel like pushing this game, so not really gonna touch it. We'll
Accurate.
definitely pick up the models when they come out without the box set, when they just come out on their own, because you save so much money if you just get the models by themselves, as evident by the release of the Skaven and the Dark Elf K Knight team.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I lied. You only save $15, but still,
It's still $15.
still $15.
That's like two pots.
Yeah, or three if they're not contrast.
True. But moving on to a game that I do like and play, Warcry. We are getting two new bands here. We're getting the Skinks and the Crystal guys. I scroll over their name.
Weird name. They're called the Jade Obelisk. It's a very odd name for a warband. But my gosh, these are freaking cool.
Yeah,
If I
let's
wasn't,
go over the Chameleon Skinks here.
yeah. So no Saurus, which is fine because gangs are cool too.
Yep, it's a. I mean, is it? It's all Chameleon Skinks, right?
Yeah, it's all Chameleon's Kings, which is very interesting.
Yeah, it's all Chameleon Skinks, not armed with blowpipes. They actually have other
Yeah,
weapons.
yeah,
Though I mean, they might have other weapons in the actual AOS game, but from Fantasy, all they had were the blowpipes.
yep.
And yeah, these are great looking models. There's one. Was it Warcry? There was like one really ugly chameleon skink that we saw.
It's probably Underworlds. There's a Chameleon's King in Underworlds.
Oh yeah, it was Underworlds. Yeah, that one looked weird and bad. These ones I like.
And they got the, what are they called? These pterodactyl looking things. The, where's the name? Terra Wings. There we go.
Terra
Terra
wings.
Wings. Yes. These are really cool, kind of dinosaur looking creatures, keeping with the Seraphon theme of dinosaurs.
Yep, just like the man, this is what I get for not playing Ozerman in so long. The Ripper Dactyls, is that what they were
Yeah,
called?
Ripterdactyls and Pterodons, yeah.
Very cool models to have, but honestly, I'm gonna have to go with the Jade Obelisk. Oh my
Oh
god.
my god, these are so sick. And if it wasn't for my oath to, well, two reasons. One, I really am committed to my next AOS purchase will be regular humans, straight up. Done with these weird creatures. And by regular humans, I mean not chaos worshipping humans. And also, I'm really focused on kill team right now for my skirmish.
Mhm.
Skirmish. What's the word I'm looking for? My skirmishing, my skirmish games. And I'll still play Warcry, but I don't see myself starting a new band anytime soon. But anyways, yeah, these are. If I was gonna start a new one, these are so sick. I love the color. I just like that bluish hue.
Yeah,
And yeah, it's a really cool warband. The mask is a great idea. It's kind of creepy and very culty. I really like that. Yeah, this is great.
the priest space is nice. Like it's actually on stairs and not a rock.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. It's kind of like an altar style thing. Yeah, it's a cool base there.
That and yeah, when these guys come separately, I'm definitely picking this box up.
Yeah, this is so cool. If I just wanted some cultists, this is just the perfect. If you want cultists in your D&D or whatever games you have, these are perfect cultists. Creepy. They have armored, not too crazy in terms of trim and all that. They look normal in a sense.
And they got some weird snake bird thing.
Yeah,
Oh my god, they're just so cool models. It reminds me of help me out, John. Warmahordes, the druids
circle of
circle.
arrows.
Yeah, it reminds me of that guy who throws rocks at people.
Yes,
I can't stop looking at this. The guy with the two swords.
so cool. It's a cool pose.
It's a great model. I don't know what the deal with the mirror on him is, but I could never paint that. But goddamn, is it so cool?
I like how the rock is kind of floating. If you look at the back a bit,
Hmm.
it's yeah, that's so cool. This is a great team.
And then obviously, if you buy this box, you get all these other weird terrain pieces,
Yep.
which I think is a bit better than the other one.
And then the corset. Yeah, it seems more. I mean, Warcry thankfully isn't a game where you need too much terrain, unlike Kill Team, because not everyone has guns in Warcry, and if they do, they're not infinite range.
Mm-hmm.
It's more just area denial and all that. So, yeah,
Looks looking a bit like Necromunda here. Going at these
yeah, with
bottom
the Genjis
pictures.
and stuff.
But yeah, a very cool set. Uh, I would honestly only buy just the Jade Obelisk people. Don't care too much for the skinks, even though skinks are well done. But I'll have to wait. I'll have to wait till they go separately. But that is it for the AOS stuff. It's time to go to 40k again. And this time we got the Meta Watch. Now, last time we looked at it, it was the win rate or win percentage of all the factions, and what GW was hoping or shooting for when they make all their armies, which is usually in the 50% range with a 5% error. Anything lower or higher than that is a problem. Which, as you can see, 4 armies don't meet that criteria. Tyranids, Harquins, Astartes, and Mechanicus. So in this article, they give us a little bit more explanation on why they're making their changes and all that, which is helpful helpful to explain what's going on here. Though it looks like in this balance update we're not getting any points changes, which is good. Because I don't think sometimes point changes are just not the way to go. But we'll see how these nerfs and buffs help out. Was there anything that particularly stuck out to you?
No, there was barely any change in this balance data sheet compared to the old ones. Minor changes to Harlequins and Tyranids in the grand scheme of things. Space Marines, that's a really minor change for Space Marines,
Oh yeah.
considering they have a 39% win rate. It's like, oh, cool, you could earn more victory points for this specific secondary. I mean, I guess they gave them Armor of Contempt, but that wasn't enough for Space Marines. They're still getting pummeled. Now, they did mention that Space Marines have a lower win rate because everyone plays Space Marines. Space Marines are a very common new player army, and new players who get into tournaments probably are bringing their Space Marines,
Yep.
which does deflate their win rate. But yeah, not really a change to Space Marines.
It's not very
Admech,
much to change to
yeah,
anything except for obviously Harlequins, Tyranids, and one problematic rule for the Necrons.
yeah. Admech is interesting how they remove all the the nerfs that they have, which is, yeah, I kind of I like that way of testing how things work. So
Well, I mean, we gotta remember that Mechanicus and I guess Dark Eldar doesn't get anything because obviously they're in that 5% range. But Mechanicus got nerfed because of the codex creep and them having a codex for the long time while other armies still didn't have anything. So obviously reverting some of the nerfs that they had, yeah, helps them out a bit more.
yeah,
Puts them
well,
back where they
all
should
the
be.
nerfs were removed. Yeah, we'll see if this spikes up the win rate. But so far from what I've read, the admin community isn't happy. They want buffs because I don't know. I don't play 40K enough to know what the army needs, but the reception and same for the Space Marine community has been
Well,
very negative. So.
from what I gathered in my research, uh,
Hmm.
they want point changes. They want point adjustments.
Which is, yeah, understandable.
That's what they seem. That's what they seem to think is the biggest issue. Is there's a few point tweaks here and there for the army, and it should be good. Obviously, reverting all the nerfs helps, but more. They could always use more changes. Everyone could use more changes. My favorite thing about the balanced data sheet was the Necrons, which was just removing the core keyword, I believe, from Necron vehicles with characters on them.
Yeah, that works.
Just because of that whole controversy of can a Technomancer bring back the Silent King's Menhirs, because they do have the core keyword on there, and they are part of the squad.
Hmm.
They got rid of it just for that reason, which, not gonna lie, I played the one game I played with my Necrons. I played with that rule. It was written as intent, but my God, it gives you so much value to bring back a Menhir.
Yeah.
Uh, it also nerfs the king a little bit as well, seeing how he loses his core keyword, so he no longer gets any rerolls for himself, which, probably for the best, given how strong he is.
Hmm.
I think that's pretty much it. It's like the biggest nerf they get. So Yeah, in terms of balanced data sheets, this is very minor. And I think this balanced data sheet was just more of a this is how we go through a process on how we make these changes and why we make these changes
Hmm.
kind of deal. Nothing too special. Let's see. Harlequins got nerfed with the light Sadith, I think is how you pronounce it. Where you'd be able to advance and shoot the pistols from the transports. That was a big deal. You can no longer advance in your transport and shoot your pistols. That should throw down their threat a little bit. And then Tyranids Leviathan got a little bit worse with their transhuman. Now only applies to monsters.
Yeah, so you just can't spam warriors and have
Yep.
them have permanent transhuman.
Yeah. And I think that's pretty much it in terms of the nerfs. So, not a big thing, though not a little thing either. But again, like I said, I think my theory is this is just a excuse for GW to explain why they do what they do and try to, I don't know, quell the anger of the Warhammer fans as if we're never not angry. Come on. Does GW not know?
Need to do better. I mean, I think they're doing a step in the right direction of actually using data to back up their changes.
Right.
I think it was very apparent with Kill Team how they explained the Kill Team meta watch thing. I was really impressed by how they broke that down. But yeah, I mean, it's not too much, but it's a step in the right direction.
Very true.
Yeah.
And that is it. We got one more article left, and it is New Model Monday. And here it is. I've been saying since the start, we haven't seen the new tank yet, and there it is. The Rogel Dorn. Battle tank, as they call it. And it's just an Imperial tank.
Um,
Though it does have something that caught my eye when I was reading it. This little section here says the oppressor cannon can wipe a Chaos Knight off the field in a single salvo.
no,
So,
almost wipe Gas Knight.
man, well, my version sounded a lot better.
Yeah, no, capable of knocking up almost anything up to a Chaos Knight. So
So
if it's
it's
small, probably an Armiger could die in one hit.
yeah, well, that's a lot of firepower coming from this little tank, which I guess is the norm, to be honest. Every faction's
Yeah.
got to have one thing that can one shot something almost.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how I feel about this vehicle. On one hand, it's a cool tank, but on the other hand, I don't know why they had to make a new tank. They could have just taken one of the resin tanks, like the Macarius, and then made it plastic. I guess. Well, actually, I don't even know. I don't know what kind of financial reason they would have to make a whole new tank other than Forge World saying, "Oh, don't make a new one, or don't make this one into plastic." Because there's so many freaking Imperial Guard tanks that Forge World makes in resin that they could have just ported over, but they had to make a new one for whatever reason, which I don't know how I feel about that.
Well, they did it because It's another tank for guard players to buy to add to their tank company.
Right, if you plastify the Macarius, then people will get. At least you have some consistency. I don't know. It's just weird that there's this whole new vehicle. At least with something like the Repulsor Executioner, it's a new invention. That makes sense. But I retroactively adding things in. Oh, they've always had this. It just feels kind of weird. I don't know. I don't like. I really, really hate how vehicles work in Warhammer. I honestly think, is my another hot take from John, is that I think third and fourth edition handled vehicles the best when there were no hull points, when you had to one shot a vehicle, or you couldn't hurt, or you did nothing to it.
I don't see that as a hot take. That's I miss armor facing and
No, not even specifically armor facing, but armor facing without hull points. I'm not a fan of glancing vehicles to death. I much prefer just you have to one shot it, or it does
or
nothing.
destroy all its weapons until it
Yeah,
can destroy it. Yeah,
that's kind of cool because I play Heresy right now, and yeah, glancing vehicles to death is like, I don't know.
I agree with you. I miss sixth edition, sixth, fifth, and fourth edition where
I think it was fifth and lower. They didn't have hull. I think sixth they had hull points. They
no,
did because no, they did because 30K started sixth, and 30K has hull points.
really I could have swore that was a
Yeah,
seventh edition thing.
yeah, I think it was fifth when they don't have hull points. Maybe
I'm
I'm too
thinking
lazy
it's
to.
seventh. I don't think sixth edition had hull points yet.
I am too lazy to grab my black book from my shelf. It's too neatly organized. But yeah, hull points and wounds. You're not a fan of that on vehicles.
Yeah, me
But that's
neither.
just because thematically, that just makes more sense to me that you have to punch through that armor and destroy it and not just whittle it down with firepower. Because even in 30K, where small arms can't hurt a vehicle, but it's kind of weird glancing the vehicle with several autocannon shots. Like, no, like just punch through the armor and kill it. And that's the only way to do it. Makes it more narrative and fun. That's not, I guess not a hot take, it's just my opinion. But yeah, Rogaldorn tank, it's not terrible. I'm not mad that they added it. It just boggles my mind that they didn't plastify a current tank and they had to make a new one.
You never know what GW is thinking.
That's true. You never know. Never know.
I would. There's a lot of stuff in Forge World that they could just port over, but they won't do it.
Yeah.
Think about it. There's so much Forge World stuff that they could port over, like once a year for each faction, and there'd still be enough Forge World stuff out there for certain factions. They would never have to really make a new unit, just new molds.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, there we go. That is that. And that is all the that's all the news, at least from the community site. Pretty small. Small week, but big reveals. On the AOS side at least. All stuff that I'm happy with. So let's just go ahead and get into that hobby rant section. I'll go ahead and start.
Yeah.
This time, hobby wise, I didn't hobby. I was lazy. But I did bust out the magic cards
Oh.
for the Warhammer Commander. We did a best of 3. And I'm gonna, proudly say that the Necrons took it home.
Nice.
We won. Obviously, from what I hear, Necrons are the best faction out of the 4 because they are
Okay.
monocolor. So it's a lot easier to play. It's not the reason why I picked them though. But yeah, I destroyed the Tyranids, no problem.
Nice. Nice.
Even though from going from what Travis said, Necrons don't do well against Tyranids, I guess. Lore wise, so I don't know where he got that logic from. And then I played a game of Kill Team.
Oh,
I did Thousand Suns against what do they call it? Space Marines.
which Space Marines? Intercessors or?
Ultramarines. Intercessors, yes.
Oh, okay. How'd that go?
It was really close. We were having trouble figuring out what cover did because it wasn't. I don't know. It maybe I was just looking in the wrong places, but it does not specifically say what a cover does. It kept saying, "Oh God, what did it say?" It would say you would get these benefits, but then it didn't explain what the benefits were.
Yeah, a cover is when you're in cover, when you roll to defend, you can make one of your hits an auto success. Not a crit, but an auto success.
Yeah, it'd always be like
Yeah,
cover would be if they can't see your base or if you're
right. Yeah, I think
playing,
it's
and then it's just
the
like, and that's all it would say. It wouldn't say like, oh, one of your defense dice auto
yeah,
passes.
the rule book is not set up well. Yeah, the cover section explains how you get cover, but you really want what cover does, which is only in the shooting section.
It's in the shooting section.
Yeah,
All right, yeah,
where you making saves.
it
Yeah,
didn't
it's
bother
really
to look there because I know what shooting does.
right, right. It's like in like the defense section. So yeah,
All right, interesting, yeah. But yeah, it was a close game. It was a I almost lost because I couldn't because he was just able to get on the objectives faster than me. Freaking
right.
intercessors and their 3 action points.
Oh yeah. I mean, you have 3 action points too, but still.
No, I have 2.
Because they're slow.
Yeah, they're slow.
I see. That makes sense. That makes sense.
But other than that, yeah, that's pretty much all I did. Probably going to be gaming this week. I'll probably get some 40k in because LVL's coming up, and I really have not had any practice with my Thousand Suns in a long time. So I'll probably get a 40k game in this week.
Okay.
What about you? What have you been up to?
So I played a game of Kill Team with Will. Same thing. The Death Core versus the God, my army's called the Blooded, I think, the Traitor Guard.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was super fun. Always a good time playing Kill Team. And I did get the victory. We played a narrative mission. It was kind of really skewy where if I had won, sorry, I was attacker, and the defender's goal is so they deploy in the middle on top of this building so they get cover and vantage points and all that. So for every turn that they stay there, they get a victory point. But half their army comes in as reserves. But my victory point is for every defender I kill, I get 3 victory points. And I guess I got lucky where I got hit by a mortar barrage. I had 3 guys clumped, and the survivor was the guy with the demo charge. So I just walked forward, chucked the demo charge, instantly killed 3 guardsmen, scored 9 points, which also means Will is now down 3 guys that could score. So I mean, at that point, like looking back, initially we didn't really pay attention to the math of the missions. We just kind of played it out, but we realized, wow, that I kind of just won the game at that moment because how can you? I have to kill no one, for 3 turns to tie, or will to tie the game. And it's like, oh, okay, that's pretty brutal. But I mean, that was the narrative mission, so it was so fun though. Like the cinematic in-game parts were cool. Playing the game was fun, but the mission was just really skewy. And I was like, wow, okay, that is a thing.
That's why
But
it's a narrative. It's supposed to be all
that's
thematic.
an narrative. And besides that, I've been playing a crap ton of Star Wars Legion. I played like 5 games last week, all
Jesus.
skirmish, because Geeky T's in Burbank, they're having a skirmish league, and I guess they also had a spike in new players, so I was coming in, and some people I used to play with are there, and I just been playing skirmish and having a blast. Star Wars Legion is such a fun game, especially playing Warhammer, where like just it's like I was making mistakes. I was playing against someone who played the game a few times. I played against several newbies, and I was making mistakes because I was just walking forward and not thinking about the best place for cover, the best positioning, the how to do things in the best order. And I felt like I was actually getting better at playing the game. I mean, I'm not saying you don't get better playing 40k, but it just seems that games like Star Wars Legion or even the Kill Team or not Warcry, but Kill Team, it's easy to see how to get better and what to do well next time, other than I should just take X unit instead or change my list in this way, which I feel is a lot of what 40k and 30k is. It's just taking a better unit as opposed to just playing better. So that was really fun, and I'm excited to play in this league we're having. I'm planning to run. I mean, in the league you could change lists per game because it's kind of like just like a newbie get your feet wet, and for veterans to get more games kind of league, not hyper competitive. But yeah, I'm gonna be running Darth Maul, Cad Bane, so that should be fun. Gonna be tricky. One of the newbies I played against, he ran Darth Maul Grievous in skirmish, but he just walked forward and like, oh, your Grievous is now in range of my whole army, and I just shot him with like 4 rebel trooper squad, no, 3 rebel trooper squads, fully kitted out with heavy weapons. IG-11 shot him, Cassian Andor shot him, and my sniper shot him. And it's like, yeah, next turn he ran away because he had too much suppression, because getting shot by everything. Yeah, positioning is important in Legion, which is great. You just can't walk forward with your superhero and then expect to tank everything, because he could instantly die, and
Well,
they do die quite easily.
well,
So
I mean, positioning is always important in every game, really.
not unless you play like Tyranids Leviathan apparently, and you just walk forward and not get wounded on 4s or in 3s.
True.
Um, yeah, I mean, I'm not saying positioning doesn't matter in again Warhammer games, but it's just way more. It feels way more important in Legion, and again in Kill Team, just because of how cover works in those games. Where like in 30k, cover gives you a 6-up save, which you can't use if you have power armor. Okay, it's not that important, you know. It's more just target priority and deployment and list building. While as I feel like in games like Legion, after having played like 5 games, it's really about that, making sure each individual model has a reason to be where it is. You know,
Mm-hmm.
if you're grabbing a handful of models and just moving them, then you're gonna get bit in the butt. And I've done that with people where you're out of cover because you didn't position it, your dudes properly. That could have been 2 extra. And even me, like I placed Cassian Andor casually, and if I just nudged him an inch to the left, he would have been blocking 3 hits. But I didn't, and he died. So yeah, there you go. You know. Um, Although it was funny, I played a game against a newbie, cool guy, but I have never seen anyone make so many saves like ever. Like he had a unit of Mandalorians, and you know because I ran Mandalorians against you, but this unit had like 8 suppression, and no one died. I shot it so many times, and he just kept passing the saves. So it's like, wow, this is just I wasn't even frustrated. I was just funny. It's like, yeah, like I throw my whole army at you, and you lose one guy just because you're just making the saves. It's just like, wow, this is amusing. But that was kind of funny.
Yeah, I know a guy like that who would just, you know, terrible rolls for everything else, but when it comes to saving, yeah, he always rolls sixes.
Yeah, this can pass on my thing. It's no big deal.
Oh, leadership minus 10. Let me just roll this one. Oh, look at that. Not running away.
Yep, not running away. Whoop-de-doo.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh,
So yeah, that was me. I'm gonna be playing at the league soon, and I will be hope it should be a fun time. Again, it's just I really like this game right now, and I want to just play more of it. So, and it's cool because I have all these painted models, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna run this rebel list, and everything's already painted because I painted like a year ago before I took a break. So that was kind of nice.
it's simple to paint. That's what
Yeah,
makes it nice as well.
yeah. I just painted this unit of super battle droids. I just dry brushed them silver, painted the eye or like the light on its chest, and oh, they're done.
It's nice.
Yeah, that was cool.
All right, then. Well, I think we can call it there. I'd like to thank everyone who made it to the end, and we'll see you next time.
Later, everyone.